Welcome back to Eastern Stadium. It's another Midwest Premier League East Division matchup. And this time, Lansing Common taking on a familiar rival and a very, very tough opponent in BiH Grand Rapids. Kickoff just coming up in a few minutes. Joined alongside me inside the booth, Luke Maloney. I'm Cameron McLaren. Luca, this is going to be a very interesting day, especially on a hot Lansing Sunday afternoon.
Just like you said, we're rolling into that mid-July weather. It's getting hot, it's getting sweaty, and for the players out there on the pitch, 90 minutes is going to feel like an eternity.
Yeah, and to talk about the players that are actually on the pitch, a starting lineup for BiH Grand Rapids. No positions available, but we're going to do our best to read them off. Starting in net, Vedad Vila, a very familiar goalkeeper that the Robins have played against multiple times in their appearances against BiH Grand Rapids. Going down the list, Mujo Pablica, Austin Snyder, Damir Shabanovic, Janis Begovic, Arman Zahidic, Samuel Postlethwaite, Sammy Postlethwaite, his brother. Why don't we just take a little bit of a step back and talk about what happened? Lansing Common advancing up to in the 68th minute. Munir Shirali slotting it home to make it 1-0, and then just about 10 minutes later, Jack Voigt getting on the score sheet. He now leads the team with 6 goals. And Luca, other than that, in the other performances that you've seen with this team, what have they done and what do they need to do, especially against a physical team like BiH, to take a much-needed 3 points here at home?
Well, like you said, they've scored many goals in the previous, and especially in the first couple of games, where their winning results were 4-2, 4-1. But the reality is, those players will tell you it's not easy. It was never easy trying to get those 4 goals, and they didn't come very easy. So here, the idea for Lansing Common is to, again, focus on winning the ball back, winning back the possession quickly and effectively. Find options going forward immediately as you get the ball.
And talking about chances coming and chances going in terms of trying to put the ball in the back of the net, and that's not something that BiH Grand Rapids has done as of late. Their campaign opening victory over Lansing Common, their first victory against this team. But other than that, in the Midwest Premier League, it has not been smooth sailing for this club. Only 1 win and 5 losses, I believe, for them. They currently sit bottom of the table, but this is a team that's looking to break some hearts tonight, especially with Lansing Common's Cinderella dream. They have to win out. Lansing does, in order to even have a chance at an East Division title. And this team that BiH is, they play physical, they play a gruesome style of football, but I mean, Luca, it's kind of a joy to watch it sometimes, because as long as you don't have MLS officials, you kind of see how football should be played. A little bit of spice, as a few other people have called it before the game.
Well, like you said, Cam, in previous history, this matchup has been a very fun one to watch. Just like you said, the football here is aggressive, it's tight, it's competitive, no matter where you are on the pitch. But most importantly, I think there's talent on both sides. So as we get rolling here, we'll bring you all the action.
As we are underway here in Lansing Common in their traditional road blues, going from right to left this first half. And for BiH, a familiar neon kit for them, going from left to right. Prajapati to Postlethwaite. And a good defensive play by Kevin Payne. He'll concede the first throw-in.
Postlethwaite also played for Grand Rapids FC, the USL 1 championship.
And Samuel Postlethwaite, he's not somebody that you just see like slip from your radar. He's a very good defender, and he also does like to get up the pitch, as Lansing Common found out the hard way last year. And it looks like BiH will be playing that familiar 3-4-3 that they like to play in. A very interesting formation, Luca.
Yeah, I think another point that we didn't reach was no Ty Uziak tonight, out with a concussion for the foreseeable future. And I don't know about you, Cam, but that's a big impact to not have on the pitch. He's a big player, he's an effective player, especially on those wing areas where you know he likes to attack.
And speaking of wingers bringing it up on the attack, Damir Shabanovic on the ball for BiH. Postlethwaite. Looking for Begovic. His service, and cleared by the head of Payne. It'll be the first corner kick of the game, just 2 minutes into the match for BiH.
Great way to work the ball on the left side, and then first time cross into the middle. Kevin Payne was the first one to it.
Cross sent in, dealt with by the right boot of Shirali. And Jack Voigt trying to make himself a nuisance along that far side, able to win his club a throw in. As the first decent chance for BiH goes begging. And for Lansing Common, they didn't face a lot of chances against Livonia City. A few counterattacks for Livonia, but nothing really testing goalkeeper Ethan Brandt. No saves recorded on the night. No shots recorded either for Livonia City. At least none on target. A few chances that went begging. This ball's won forward. Haynes. Lovely through ball, but it's picked out by the feet of Snyder. Goes to Pablitza. Kept in though. Only for a moment by Jack Voigt.
That's a brilliant switch.
Hungerford looking for numbers in the box. Over the head of Sylvain. Tried to get a boot on it, was Voigt. It seems like the VAR official signaled for an offside. As Pablitza gets things started without haste. Postal Waite's ball sent forward. Prajapati now. Back to Snyder.
Good teamwork there between Wishmeyer and Hungerford to win the ball back.
Zane Arnold with it. The Lawrence Tech product. Relatively good few seasons with them. 20 games played last season, 14 starts, 2 goals in his sophomore campaign. Wishmeyer. A tall, lanky midfielder, but Mark Wishmeyer, he turns a lot of heads, not only with his size, but with his ball ability, Luca.
I said he's got one of the best first touches on the team, I'd say. And his ability to pick out a pass, especially a long one, it's a unique ability.
Shirali, well out of position, trying to pick Shaheen. He was onside. It's dealt with, though, by Zahedic. It's BiH trying to get it into the plus side of the pitch. Now able to do so, Shabanovic. Into the middle. For Petron.
There it goes through Mitch Haynes and Munir Shirali.
Prajapati. His cross able to be kept in at the far touchline, though. It'll be sent out by Arnold, and another throw-in in the attacking territory for BiH. So Sammy Postlethwaite once again. Another throw-in for him. Velasquez trying to turn around Arnold. And it'll go out for another corner kick for BiH. Their second one of the game. Just about 6 minutes in. Possession even for both teams so far as the cross whipped in. Unable to find the head of Prajapati. It'll just be hoofed up the pitch by Hungerford. Pablitza had a hard time dealing with that, but Shaheen able to win possession back for the Robins. He's got numbers going forward. Sylvan has Shaheen in support. Tries to through ball. It goes off of the leg of Postlethwaite. And in on to Vila for the first action in this game for him.
It was a good idea from Gershom Sylvan, but he did have that left side of the keepers open to possibly get a shot off with his second touch on the goal. Instead, he goes for the through ball to Ramsey Shaheen, Didn't work out this time. Sure they'll get another one.
Voigt tried the through ball, and that one goes off of Publitza. It'll be the first corner of the game for the Robins. And a familiar face going to that corner flag, Munir Shirali. And it's been a while for him, able to get on the score sheet and Livonia, but for him, his set-piece delivery has been something that's left a lot of chances begging, it seems, this year for Lansing Common.
A lot of different players in that box he's delivering his services to. So let's see if he can get one here.
Off the head of Payne, rebound and in! It's a wonderful goal off of a set piece as Ramsey Shaheen knocks the first one in on his account. And just under 8 minutes into this one, Lansing Common, they needed an early goal and they found it. It's Lansing Common 1, BiH 0.
And as soon as we talked about it, Cam, Munir Shirali, great service over to Kevin Payne, heads it down, and with that bounce, Ramsey Shaheen was able to head it into the top of the net. 1-0 Lansing Common, and well-worked set piece.
And for Lansing Common, I believe that's one of the first goals that they've had in the first quarter of an hour this season. I don't recall them having, this team having many opening goals like that.
No, they're not early starters, so to get one inside 10 minutes is very big for the Robins.
Here comes Shaheen trying to look for more. He'll commit the foul. It's an easy call as Snyder went over. The assist going to Kevin Payne, getting the initial chest touch with it.
And you know, that's not even Kevin Payne's first assist of the season. He's had a couple in his bag now.
And once again for Lansing Common, it was a familiar sight last year with defenders getting in, especially on set pieces like corner kicks. One would think of an old friend of ours and current soccer player at the University of Virginia, one Aiden O'Connor, the old Mr. Michigan soccer at Forest Hills during his time in high school. But Aiden O'Connor, 3 goals last year, and all of them coming off of the head.
Talk about an aerial threat. Aiden O'Connor was a massive one.
And Kevin Payne able to fill the void that was left with the departure of Aiden O'Connor. And not to mention, Kevin Payne, he himself has done wonders for this club, including his collegiate club at Niagara. 25 games played, 24 starts in 2 seasons, no goals, no assists. But for Lansing Common, he's been a trooper, as you said, Luca. A few assists to his name as he enters his junior year, coming from Jackson High School here, just a few minutes down south from where we are at right now.
And now we have another corner kick for Munir Shirali and Lansing Common here in the 10th minute.
So it'll be Shirali to take it. 6 in the box for him. The outswinger. The head. That one tipped off the bar. A great.
And would you believe that, Cam? It was Jack Lockerbie who rises above all and gets a head on it. Just hits the goalkeeper's hands first and then onto the crossbar. BiH looking a little fortunate here.
And after Lansing Common having about, I think, 9 corner kicks in that first half against Livonia, 2 here in the opening 10 minutes of this one, but both corners resulting in great opportunities. This ball, Shaheen, he's onside. Ramsey Shaheen looking for 2, and Vila coming way out of his goal. Sylvan being pestered there by Snyder. Or excuse me, Prajapati.
Yeah, and Gershom Sylvan pleading his case that the BiH defender wrapped his foot around him, but it'll be a goal kick.
And Prajapati did well there as Gershom Sylvan. He's scored 7 goals that we at least know for in the Midwest Premier League. 4 of them actually don't count, but they came on this pitch just about a year ago when he was playing for LK St. Clair, or excuse me, it was Livonia.
It was
in
LK. It was LK St. Clair.
LK St. Clair.
You're right. You're right. He signed on as a
the one-day contract.
Yeah, the one-day contract kind of deal. The game ended as a 3-0 result for Lansing Common on paper, but I believe it did end 4-1.
And all 4 goals scored by Gershom Sylvan.
Yeah, in the purple of LK St. Clair.
And that's exactly what me and you talked to former head coach Josh Oakley about, was where do we sign this kid up for this team next year? And he immediately said that he wanted Gershom Sylvan on this team, and he got his wish this year. And Sylvain, or excuse me,
the future
Sylvan,
Detroit Mercy Titan.
and he's been very good in the colors of the Lansing Common Robin. 3 goals in his, I believe, 4 or 5 appearances for the club in league play. Prajapati now for BiH. To Snyder. Closed down there immediately by Shaheen. Zahidic. Pablitza. Pestered there by Voigt, and that's a late challenge. The referee immediately going to the pocket. It'll be Muyo Pablitza. He'll be given a card that matches the color of his jersey once he returns to his feet.
Yeah, both players there look like they got a bit of a heavy knock on the leg. So now up is going to be a yellow card.
So Pablitza, the first to go into the referee's book for a reckless challenge on Gershom Sylvan, who we were just talking about. Both players gingerly making their way back up towards the BiH net, but seems as though Pablitza might have been a little bit worse for wear on that one. We'll get things restarted now with Shirali. Wishmeyer.
Look at that first time pass from Wishmeyer.
The offside flag is raised, looking for Jack Voigt as Gershom Sylvan has made his way back to the ground for Lansing Common.
Look, he's pointing at the shin. He's gone down. Joshua Rosendale has to be warmed up, and Ben Meshke too, warming up on the touchline.
And in the meantime, it seems as though that Lansing Common will possibly have to make an early substitution in this game, with Josh Rosendale, the Olivet College graduate, warming up on the sideline, and then Ben Meshke, the Kalamazoo College product as well. Both of them possibly trying to get a quick stretch in before they make an appearance, as it seems Gershom Sylvan may be out for the remainder of this game. So as we get play restarted, Shabanovic over to Suvanic to Postal Weight. Lovely through ball by him, picked out though by the center back Kevin Payne. It'll be another throw in for BiH in the Lansing Common half. The header dealt with, sent out by the foot, I believe, of Zane Arnold. It'll be another throw-in for BiH, as they've had multiple here in the Lansing Common side of the field, as they currently play with 10 men due to the Robins, and the number advantage and the possession advantage right now in favor of the team in neon. Postal Weight.
Dangerous ball towards the middle.
That one clearly picked out and dealt with easily by Lansing Common as Velasquez makes the 20-yard retreat back up to keep possession for his team. Snyder, Prajapati.
Yeah, one thing that BiH Grand Rapids is doing very well is finding men in between that space between Lansing Common's midfielders and their defenders. They're just not able to find an option into a space for them to break away. And here he goes again as they retain possession.
Shaheen held by Snyder. He'll give away the free kick as Sylvain still trying to work out what seems to be a lower body injury with the Lansing Common training staff. As both Rosendale and Meshke still waiting on instructions from new bench boss Brent Sorg. We also have an appearance by another former coach for Lansing Common. One John Greer is in attendance, I believe for the first time this season. I haven't seen him in quite some time, and neither have a lot of the people that were on the Lansing Common staff last year.
Greer making his first appearance in the stands today. Got a warm welcome.
Postal Weight tried to deal with that. Publitza there to clean up the rubbish. Velasquez. Shabanovic has to turn away from the pressure of Shaheen. Good shot by him. A lovely switch there by Shabanovic. But once again, BiH forced to play it around the back so far, unable to really string more than 3 passes together in that tight, compacted midfield shape that Lansing Common has. And Luca, this is how Lansing Common would like to play, especially off the ball, just letting teams play it around the back, really nothing threatening.
Exactly, allowing themselves to be patient, and just like that, Munir Shirali wins the ball back and plays it out to Jack Voigt.
So Gershom Sylvan getting the fourth official's attention to come back in, back to 11 aside now. Arnold almost on the half turn.
It was a good idea by Arnold, just the execution there near at the end.
And here comes BiH along the near side. Zahidic to Pedron. Shadowed there by Hungerford. Prajapati pestered there by Sylvan. And an unforced error means it's a Lansing Common throw-in. We'll get a stoppage here from the center referee. Something a little bit wrong, I believe, with the jersey of one Mitch Haynes, possibly. So once again, Lansing Common with a player, still playing with a player down.
Yeah, Mitch Haynes has come off. Trainer Michelle Fasano taking a look at him right now while he's getting a couple sips of water in him.
Lovely ball played by Kevin Payne. It'll find Jack Voigt on that far side, and Postaway has nothing else to do but to take him down in the process, and it'll be the second yellow card issued in this first half as Postal Weight goes into the books. And that's now 2 defenders for BiH with a caution.
You know, you can't manhandle the opposing player like that and expect not to get carded. And to be 2 yellow cards in 21 minutes of play keeps putting BiH in a tougher position. And now this is a good opportunity here for Munir Shirali or even left-footed Mark Wishmeyer to find either the head of Zane Arnold, Kevin Payne, or Ramsey Shaheen inside the box. Or why not go directly for goal?
Wishmeyer wanting the pass from Shirali. He'll instead go for goal, and that one goes off the post.
You know, Cam, that is the second time Mark Wishmeyer has hit the post doing that exact same motion, the exact same trickery of play in the set piece of confusing the defenders between Munir Shirali and Wishmeyer just hits it back post and literally hits the post every time.
A bad clearance there from the BiH goalkeeper. But they're able to clear their lines going forward. Off the foot of Pedron. Over to Begovic. Turning away from Zane Arnold. Postal Weight. His cross, and that one dealt with by the right boot of Jack Lockerbie. Going from distance, and that will be labeled as a shot on goal, which now means that Ethan Brandt is the sole single season and all-time leader in career saves for Lansing Common, surpassing a much younger Zach Kelly, 34 saves in last year's campaign. Ethan Brandt now in sole possession of first place on that list with 35.
Yeah, and when we talked to Ethan Brandt about this a couple games ago here at home in the post-game interviews, he said it's a good and bad thing because that simply means his defenders are letting more shots go to goal. But at the same time, he's been putting on some great performances between the sticks. So Ethan Brandt here making history for Lansing Common.
And the only reason I did hesitate on saying that was a shot on goal in most sports, if that ball, as this one's played in, no pressure, so the goalkeeper able to just corral it under his own will. But in most sports, any shot that is going in, if the goalkeeper doesn't touch it, whether in hockey or in soccer, is labeled a shot on goal, which is why I look to you, Luca, to make sure that what I was going to say was indeed correct at that moment.
No, it was a deliberate hit towards goal. Granted, he took that one from a distance.
And the aforementioned Ethan Brandt, a little bit slightly heated after getting ran into by Herman Pedron after getting that through ball.
And that's a brilliant touch from Gershom Sylvan.
BiH able to one-touch pass it 5 times to clear the pressure of Lansing Common, but once again the Robins find themselves with possession. Wishmeyer up to Shirali. Had the overlap with Jack Voigt, and he gets taken down, and there's a little bit of a kick out by Shirali.
Shirali's got to be careful there with the retaliation. Could earn him a card here and there.
And the BiH Grand Rapids bench wanting the center referee to do something. And it's going to be a free kick given for BiH.
Well, at convenient time, it's going to go into a water break.
It's a water break. Never mind.
Hydration.
Conditions a little bit steamy up here as both me and Luca had to experience firsthand when we opened the door to the press box. It was rather very
little toasty, you could say.
Not refreshing up here in the press box. Immediately opened all of the windows, but 25 minutes in, Luca, 1-0 the score line here. And what are your just initial thoughts, especially with the absence of Ty Uziak along that right side? It seems as though Lansing Common able to just pick a few passes together, get the chances they want to, even if it's off of set pieces.
Exactly, not even just off of set pieces where they've now gotten a goal and a shot and a hit on the post, but Lansing Common is doing a very good job in transition. When Munir Shirali, Wishmeyer are winning the ball back in midfield and immediately distributing out wide, I think that is where Lansing Common are most effective in this game right now. But make no mistake, BiH Grand Rapids still doing a very good job of maintaining possession, playing the ball out of the back. I think they're just having a harder time finding a more direct avenue towards goal.
And for BiH, it just seems like they've been able to work it along Lansing Common's right side, down the right wing of Mitch Haynes, Zane Arnold, and Kevin Payne. But it's really just been the two defenders, Arnold and Payne, that have dealt with the majority of that pressure basically coming from one man for BiH, and that's Sammy Postaway, who's had himself a very decent game so far, except getting that yellow card that resulted in Mark Wishmeyer hitting the far post just a few moments ago. But for BiH, it just seems as though they, as you said, Luca, they're able to string a few passes together. It's just really not a lot of meaningful possession in the opposing team's final third. As the players find themselves back onto the pitch, Munir Shirali and the center referee of today's match trying to clear the air before anything else happens.
Yeah, Ramsey Shaheen was having a word with the BiH bench just a moment ago before restarting play.
As the ball finds its way to Kevin Payne for Lansing Common. Brandt looking for options as BiH has put a few more numbers forward. A strategic change for them as the ball is sent out along this near side. Velasquez tried to play it through to Shabanovic, but turned over immediately as Lansing Common tries to exploit the right side. Payne looking for a pass. Finds one in Haynes. Now Wishmeyer. Off the pressure of Sabanovic. He's forced to go back. And a lovely pass there by Ethan Brandt.
Now Hungerford has options.
Hungerford trying to find Jack Voigt in the middle, but Pavlitsa there.
But again, well done to Lansing Common there, moving the ball. Ethan Brandt finding space open on the left for Hungerford, and Hungerford had, in theory, 3 options there to play the ball. Plays it towards Jack Voigt.
Landon Hungerford, a fellow companion of Kevin Payne at Niagara. And during his time at DeWitt High School, he was an all-state soccer selection for his duties there with DeWitt. Another lovely
Mitch
pass
Haynes
from the center back. Quick off of his line was the BiH keeper.
Mitch Haynes just tried to get a toe on that to get it past the BiH keeper. But well done to the keeper getting there quickly.
Postal Weight will get things started once more for BiH. But once again, just another unforced error. As Lansing Common, a bad pass there by Kevin Payne, and Arnold forced to concede the throw-in. And I think that's the first mistake that's been made along the Lansing Common back line today. Postal Weight back to Pavlitsa. And once again, Lansing Common forcing BiH to work it around the back, forcing their defenders to come back and play more defensively. And that's a lovely through ball as Ramsey Shaheen to Sylvan. Sylvan, and that ball too far in front of him.
Again, well done by the keeper, getting there a lot quicker than the forwards. Sylvan, that was a brilliant touch by Mitch Haynes to get it on through to Ramsey Shaheen, and Shaheen unselfishly finds Sylvan on the left side.
And another error along this near side. Prajapati tried to get Snyder with the 1-2. The ball just in front of him as Lansing Common now find themselves with a throw-in. BiH now sensing that offensive pressure from Lansing Common. They've dropped an extra defender back. Velasquez with it now for Grand Rapids. Immediately picked out by the left boot of Hungerford. Trying to send Voigt forward was Shirali, and that one picked out by Postal Weight, and what would have saved a 3-on-2.
Yeah, it was a good idea from Shirali to play that pass. but there were 3 BiH defenders ready to stomp on that.
Begovic. Suvinic. Velasquez in the middle. Along the far side. There's another shot. And that one straight into the arms of Ethan Brandt for save number 2. Sullivan trying to take on Prajapati. As Shabanovic can bring it forward for BiH. Prajapati in space. Shabanovic. Turned over for Sylvain to deal with as he tries to work around Shabanovic, and the ball will just roll off of his foot for another Lansing Common throw. Haynes in the middle. Dispossessed there by Prajapati. Emmanuel Velasquez. Down to Pedrodron. Lovely through ball. Prajapati! And Ethan Brandt coming up big. Using all of his frame.
Yeah, Ethan Brandt made himself look as big as he could there as Prajapati had a touch on that and tried to lift it over him. But Ethan Brandt, well done to stay on his feet.
And this is the second time that Ethan Brandt has played BiH in his short stint with Lansing Common, playing the first half in the Grand River Open Cup, the first match of that cup, where Lansing Common fell to this exact same BiH team, 2-1, 2 second half goals for BiH after conceding the first goal. As they rode on to win Group A in that cup, Lansing Common immediately knocked out after 2 losses, including one just a week and a half ago to Tulip City United.
Now take a look here, Cam. As you can tell, BiH is just upping the intensity a little bit in that final third.
Just a few more numbers forward for BiH, leaving them open to a few counterattacks if Lansing Common can get some meaningful possession in their own half. Shabanovic trying to get one back in the final 10 minutes of this first half. Shabanovic, the cross, and that one stinging the hands of Brandt, who hangs on in the face of Emmanuel Velasquez. And the aforementioned Ethan Brandt, 6'3", a native of Torrance, California, currently plays his collegiate ball at Western Michigan. He was their #1 keeper during the spring season, looking to be the #1 keeper in the fall.
And talking to former coach Josh Oakley early in the season, he said that's the goal for Ethan Brandt. He wants to be the #1 at Western this fall, and he looks on track to be doing that.
Performing very well in the neon green goalkeeper kit for Lansing Common this season. And surely well on his way to earning that #1 job. Lockerbie up for Shaheen. His first touch.
Yeah. The first touch not so good, but that second touch just to skip past BiH attacker wins the ball back for him.
And along that far side, Zane Arnold trying to plead his case with the far side linesman to try to win himself a throw-in, but once again, it'll be postal weight to take it for BiH. And Luca, as you said, a lot more numbers in neon going forward. As Shabanovic trying to find the roaming right back in Snyder. He's able to win the ball off of Hungerford. Suvinic back to Snyder. Prajapati. Back to Snyder. And that one dealt with by the head of Kevin Payne.
Wishmeyer.
Sullivan taking out 2 BiH defenders. He'll lose out as the ball finds its way back to Samuel Postlethwaite.
Yeah, and that's what's been difficult for Lansing Common in the last 15 minutes. Getting that ball, especially the forwards, getting the ball with their back turned to goal and trying to force the ball in the other direction. It's been a little bit of a struggle.
And that struggle could be caused by the aforementioned absence of Ty Uziak, who picked up a pretty big and severe knock in the win over Livonia City. Out for today's matchup. We do not have a full injury report for him. He will be unavailable for the time being, and that is a huge loss down that right sideline. But one that is being filled by one Jack Voigt for Lansing Common. Voigt on the ball, back, Shirale! 2-0! And what a lovely turn of events for Lansing Common. A beautiful weighted pass finds its way to Jack Voigt, who unselfishly finds the man in the middle. Munir Shirali, the right place at the right time, as he doubles the Lansing Common lead just minutes before halftime. It's Lansing Common 2, BiH Grand Rapids 0.
And would you look at that, Cam? Once again, we're talking about the absence of Ty Uziak, but it's Jack Voigt, the top goal scorer with 6, driving down the right lane and then picking his head up, finding Munir Shirali, making that run inside the 6. One touch into the middle, it's in, and now Lansing Common find themselves 2 up just before halftime. Cam, this is a prime position to be in if you're a Robin.
Indeed it is. Lansing Common fully in control of this first half, getting a much-deserved second goal. Seemingly out of nowhere, though, Luca, but they'll take it any way they can, especially in the first half. As BiH, with just over 7 minutes left to go in this first half, trying to pull within 1. Up to Velasquez. That goes through. Pedron! Or excuse me on that one. Begovic tried to get it past the 6'3" frame of Ethan Brandt. Was able to do so, but not on target. As Lansing Common slightly asleep there at the back. Able to escape a close chance just minutes after going up by 2. Wishmeyer.
And now goals in back-to-back games for Munir Shirali. This is the spark he needed in this Lansing Common team, Cam.
2 goals in 3 days for the Hazlitt native, as he found himself with a spot kick in that Livonia City game. Now here's Shaheen. Taken down, the referee waves play on. And Ramsey Shaheen thought he was in on goal for number 2.
Yeah, the center official's getting an earful from the home stand, but he stays firm on his decision.
Snyder. Bad pass there as Lansing Common once again in control in the opposing half, but only momentarily. Postlethwaite put under pressure by Sullivan. And a bad kick there by BiH. Shaheen one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Tried to find Sylvain. It'll roll out to the far corner. Kept in, though.
And that's going to be a foul. Interesting turn of events right there, Cam. Goalkeeper tries to boot one out, hits the underside of Ramsey Shaheen. Tries to keep it in play. Gershom Sylvan just wasn't able to get a touch onto that to goal. And as the ball was going out, Ramsey Shaheen fouled again. And now, but this time it'll be a free kick just outside the 18-yard box, right by the corner flag. And could we see some more trickery here with Mark Wishmeyer and Munir Shirali lining up for it?
It looks as though Wishmeyer...
Look at the top of the box, Cam. Pay attention to that area.
That is something that is of great importance. The in-swinger dealt with on the first time by the goalkeeper. Arnold trying to work it back in. Payne on the end of it. It'll just roll in on goal as Shaheen tried to be the Robin Van Persie or the Ruud Van Nistelrooy of this Lansing Common team, just trying to poach one in from within the 6-yard box.
Not a bad comparison here.
I sometimes do know soccer, Luca. Only sometimes, though. Payne.
The versatility of Cameron McLaren is unreal, and you're watching it live.
Watching, listening, possibly doing neither. It's on in your background, and I'm just here. I'm living in your world. It'll be Shirali.
Once again, thank you for joining us on this lovely Sunday, July afternoon.
Yes, thank you for tuning in on this. It's a Sunday afternoon, as you said. Not many Sunday games for Lansing Common in their small existence,
but rare Sunday game.
And not a bad crowd, too, especially on a hot one as today. As Shaheen, he'll draw the foul from Snyder.
Play on Lansing players there complaining that they wanted to play to continue.
And for good measure.
Yeah, but referee halts it. And now play quickly.
3 minutes before halftime. Shirali to Arnold. He'll ping one in, looking for Shaheen. But his cross too far in front of anybody in blue. And it'll be another goal kick for BiH. Pablitza. Put under pressure by Voigt. It'll be turned over at the midfield. Haynes trying to find Shaheen.
I'm really liking this midfield duo between Mitch Haynes and Mark Wishmeyer, both playing the 6. But they just look so in sync, especially with Munir Shirali hovering over them.
Indeed they do. Mitch Haynes, a very noticeable presence during midweek training. Him and Ty Uziak love going at each other, both verbally and on the pitch. As this ball takes a deflection, or it doesn't, it'll be Zahidic who concedes the throw in, and it'll be a 3 minutes minimum of added time to the end of this first half. Zane Arnold, well out of position for Lansing Common. It'll be to Shirali. Put under pressure by Velasquez. He's pushed off the ball, and Velasquez thought about booting it 40 yards down the field, and instead gives the ball up to Mitch Haynes.
And Cam, we're coming up just short of halftime. What are your thoughts on how this has been a game of up and down for both sides here, because both sides have had great spells, but it's been Lansing Common the one knocking on the door.
And it's Lansing Common with the better chances in being able to actually finish their dinner and execute a lot better than they have in recent games. Shirali, back post for Arnold, and a chance goes begging as the far linesman raises his flag as Arnold was in offside. But going back to what you said, Luca, it really has been an up and down game, and BiH, who's had a few chances in this game, just not enough quality in the final third to put any high quality shots in on Ethan Brandt, who's only had to make 3 saves today, and 2 of which have been under little pressure. And for Lansing Common, it's really just been a lot of execution in the final third that they've been lacking in recent past. But here comes BiH with an opportunity just before halftime. Manuel Velasquez. Up for Pedron. Has Prajapati in support, doesn't use him though. Shabanovic. Shadowed there by Hungerford.
Yeah, he's trying to see if Hungerford would bite first so he can take that open lane on the outside. Doesn't. Forces him to go inside and shoot out.
And that's a chance that BiH would want to have back. They had numbers going forward, Luca, 2-on-2, but Lansing Common did well to deal with the pressure.
Yeah, and here we go. We've reached the 45th minute mark. We're about to reach 46 here in a second. Should be signaling the end of the half soon.
Begovic. That ball going off the hand of a Lansing Common defender. It'll be a free kick in a dangerous position for the away side. And Damir Shabanovic immediately running over to try and set this one up. It looks as though he would be the one to send it in. Just over a minute into the allotted 3 minutes of stoppage time. It'll be a 4-man wall for Lansing Common. And standing over this one, the aforementioned Damir Shabanovic. That one, a beautiful goal. A curler into the top corner from Damir Shabanovic as he's pulled his team to within one.
Not much you can do about it there. Struck that ball real well and into a tight area. Ethan Brandt in the wall, all could do was just stare.
And Ethan Brandt signaling to his defense, patting his chest, saying, that was on me, boys. But it's nonetheless, it's 2-1 here in favor of Lansing Common. And a beautiful goal by number 9, Damir Shabanovic, has pulled his side and made things interesting here in the final minute of this first half. Hungerford.
And you know, Cam, a goal right before halftime could give BiH a massive spark going into the second 45 minutes.
Indeed it can. As Gershom Sullivan had to let that one run through. Almost able to get on the end of it was Landon Hungerford. It'll be a throw-in as the referee has seen enough of the first 45. 2 goals in 20 minutes for Lansing Common, but a beautiful free kick just before the stroke of halftime. It's 2-1 going into the break. We'll be back in just a few moments for the second half. You're watching Lansing Common. 3 goals, 2 yellow cards, and only 1 goal deciding between these two teams after 45 minutes as we are set to get underway in the second half here between Lansing Common Football Club and BiH Grand Rapids. Cameron McLaren joined alongside Luca Maloney as the Robins get the second half underway. No changes as it seems for either side to start this second half, and we still don't know exactly who is in net for BiH Grand Rapids. So apologies to everybody listening out there. We do not have a full roster sheet for the away side in today's match. Only the 11 names registered at the beginning of the match.
And Cameron McLaren, would you believe it that we're 10 games into the season? This is the only second time you and I have been on the mic this summer.
Yes, and honestly, it's been a long time coming, and only one more time after tonight that both me and Luca Maloney will be on the mics at the same time, but not talking at the same time. We tried not to do that. We are professionals, folks, at some point.
We try.
As BiH getting that all-important goal just before halftime, able to stretch or at least cut the deficit to 1 after 45 minutes, at a deserving 45 minutes for Lansing Common. 2 posts for them and 2 goals as well. So the expected goals average, if you do play FIFA, would be somewhere around 3.5 to 4 if you're a Lansing Common supporter.
Those are exciting numbers right there, but we are seeing 2 on the board for right now. And like you said, no surprising changes here to the starting 11 going into this next 45 minutes. And I'm very excited about the shape. I think the midfield, like we talked about, look a little sluggish towards the end of that half as Gershom Sylvan hits it over the bar.
And that was a sneaky first turn there by Gershom Sylvan to find himself in some space working around Snyder on that far side. Lansing Common in the traditional road uniforms, the baby blues, going from left to right this half. And BiH in the highlighter yellow/greens, going from right to left. Goal kick sent forward. Miscommunication there in the midfield. Sees Lansing Common now with possession in their own half. Lockerbie along the far side for Landon Hungerford. And Luca, as you said, that midfield slightly sluggish in the final 15 minutes of that first half, which is why Lansing Common, the defense, giving up that foul just outside of the 18-yard box, which resulted in Damir Shabanovic cutting the deficit to 1 on a beautiful free kick goal that obviously left both me and you in disbelief.
Oh, that was a well-struck free kick, just about, I'd say, 24 yards outside the goal. Right foot, top left corner, just a clean strike, clean connection.
And Lansing Common trying to stretch the lead back to 2.
But I think the key figure here for Lansing Common has to be Munir Shirali. He's been everywhere, floating around this right flank, going back into the middle, and if he can, like he's doing right now, if he can keep finding those passes going forward, Lansing Common can get a chance for a goal or 2.
And there's a mishap at the back. Shaheen in that one, saved by the goalkeeper, cleared off the line by Zahedic. And almost a calamity of errors resulting in Ramsey Shaheen bagging his second as the play is blown dead as Emmanuel Velasquez had the ball go off his right arm. And Lansing Common will get things started quickly, but a beautiful chance there for Shaheen to bag the brace.
No doubt, and as I was talking about it, Munir Shirali plays the ball over to the head of Gershom Sylvan, finds the feet somehow of Ramsey Shaheen, tries to go under the keeper, but well done to the BiH defense, clearing that out as soon as that ball was trying to cross the line.
And it was 3 passes in quick succession, a head, a foot, and then a ball off the foot and off the head by the BiH defender that almost resulted in Ramsey Shaheen getting his best chance of the second half. Just not even 5 minutes in to the second part of this game. And there's a through ball. Gershom Sylvan. Sylvan taken down. Able to win the ball, though, was the defender.
No, that was a well-done tackle. You know, he did bring down Gershom Sylvan, but the intent was to the ball, and he did get the ball as he was edging the 18-yard box.
And a lovely weighted ball along the far side to Shabanovic, the aforementioned lone goal scorer in the game so far for BiH. Prajapati. Suvanic. Back to Shabanovic. In the middle, Velasquez takes a few bobbles off of Kevin Payne, and he'll be ridden into the ground by Velasquez, who commits the foul.
Slight entanglement there between Velasquez and Kevin Payne.
Results in a free kick just outside the 18-yard box for Ethan Brandt. Brandt ushering his troops forward. Will finally get play restarted. Shirali off the head of Voigt, trying to work around Suvanic. Shaheen back to Shirali. Shirali has numbers on the far side, elects to go through Prajapati. To Haynes. And that's a lovely ball looking for Hungerford. That one played out by Snyder. Play restarts immediately. Shaheen trying to work around two. It'll roll its way in on goal. And Luca, you talked about that midfield seeming kind of sluggish. No changes so far for Brent Sorg's side. When do you expect them to try to make a change in the midfield to try to spice things up and put a little bit more energy into the sails of Lansing Common here before the 60th minute?
I'd say last 20, 25 minutes, I'd say we should be seeing a change for at least someone in the midfield. You know, there's options on the bench. You got Avery Dresky sitting on the bench. You have Daniel Silva. You could bring a lot of energy in there. And if you switch a couple pieces here and there, you could even bring on Joshua Rosendale to win more aerial battles. But I wouldn't expect to see any changes from Sorg until the 65th minute.
And a miscommunication there between Lockerbie and Hungerford. It's a free throw-in collected by Prajapati, trying to find Shabanovic. And Lansing Common once again with possession in their own half. And it seems as though there was indeed one, possibly two changes for BiH heading into this second half. In defense, I believe it is Amar Jez, number 26, who slots in at the back in favor of Pablitza, who is already resting on a yellow card. As Kevin Payne.
A little bit of an argument there between Kevin Payne, Zane Arnold, and BiH as to who gets the ball back.
It'll be a Lansing Common throw off the head of Postal Weight. Once more off Wishmeyer. Over to Prajapati in the midfield. Prajapati with time and space. Picks out Velasquez. The overlapping run, and that cross goes off the boot of Kevin Payne, and it'll be the first corner of this second half for BiH. And a good opportunity for them to try to snatch one back and level things at 2 just 10 minutes into the second half. The cross sent in, dealt with immediately by Shirali. And into the arms of Brandt. And Shirali took a little bit of a knock while trying to head that ball away. The center official stops play for a possible head injury, but Shirali's still working on it. Seems to be okay for the moment. So the fake drop ball. Brandt able to find Arnold. Trying to spring Voigt forward. It'll be dealt with by Jez and sent out of play. And Luca with Amara Jez, who I believe is number 26 on this roster. Once again, no full roster for BiH in this game. That's a lot of size and a lot more youth, I would say, coming in place of Publica.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, just not about size and, like you said, youth. I think his pace, too. I think he's shown in here in about 15, 20 minutes played that he's keeping up with Jack Voigt and Gershom Sylvan, who are dominating that right side so far.
Sylvan on the ball, able to win his team a corner kick as the last touch came off of Postal Weight. And it'll be another opportunity for the midfield Magista and Munir Shirali to send a ball in and possibly reclaim Lansing's 2-goal lead.
We're getting a visual here now of Joshua Rosendale and Avery Dresky starting to warm up and on the sideline as well. Who's there?
Ben Meshki.
Ben Meshki. We could be seeing 3 changes coming up.
Shirali with the outswinger, dealt with immediately by Zahidic. Hungerford, though, to reclaim possession. Back out to Haynes. And Snyder unable to deal with it cleanly as Shaheen is in. Ramsey Shaheen, the cross back to Sylvan. Unable to get the first one off, still dangerous. Shirali, and that one blocked by Jez as Prajapati can recollect for BiH.
Again, Gershom Sylvan didn't get a good first touch on it. Granted, he had the defender on him. Dishes it out to Munir Shirali. Shirali maybe should have gone for that left-footed shot and instead of trying to curve his body to hit it with his right. Nonetheless, a good effort and a good block by the BiH defense.
And a late whistle there, and Ramsey Shaheen, as he was clattered into the back by Snyder, who gives away the free kick. And once again, Lansing Common electing to get things restarted rather quickly. As we'll have an upcoming substitution for BiH on the next dead ball. Hungerford, though, to bring it forward for Lansing Common. To Voigt. The overlap with Shaheen. Past one. Shaheen! That one blocked by Jez, but still in possession with Shirali. Shirali corralled by 3 BiH players. He'll go back to Wishmeyer. To Mitch Haynes. Far side now for Hungerford. Trying to work the inside. Sylvan. His cross, and that one takes a deflection. And we'll exit play, and we'll finally get... Or never mind, we will not get that substitution as of yet.
Very nice attendance out here. Okay, I'm at Eastern Stadium. Good crowd, a good away side.
And it will be a...
Very entertaining.
We will finally get... Herman Perdron out. And Jasper Schinkel in for BiH. So it'll be the 3rd substitution for them today. It's Hungerford. An errant slice from him. Payne is forced to deal with it under pressure. As Snyder sends it out of touch again. As we played an hour here in Lansing. Sylvan immediately bodied off the ball. And a failed clearance from BiH. Sent back in for Sylvan to run onto it. It'll be dealt with by Jez. as he sends that ball way up
to the taco stand
and well out of Eastern Stadium. Shaheen under pressure in the midfield. Haynes will just dump it out wide for Shirali.
Well done pass from Haynes to play that first time to Shirali.
Shirali into the middle for Shaheen, off the foot of Jazz. As Zane Arnold well in front of his defensive position, can collect for Lansing. Shaheen trying to work around Postlethwaite. Unable to do so as Postlethwaite is able to win the ball back. He'll take a knock for his efforts. It results in a free kick for BiH. It'll be Amar Jez who stands over with the final half an hour remaining, and BiH still down by a goal. Haynes works it up to Sylvan. Shirali unable to work it on the half turn. He's forced to retreat as it goes all the way back to Ethan Brandt. And Luca, you talked about a sluggish end in the midfield to the end of that first half for Lansing Common. It seems as though it's still continuing here in the first 15 minutes of this second half.
You know, the 2 games in 3 days plus the heat. You know, I think we expected a little bit of sluggishness coming in this game. I would expect to see substitutions coming now with 3 players, Avery Dresky, Ben Meshke, and Joshua Rosendale warming up on the sideline for Lansing Common. And now Mitch Haynes has gone down.
And Luca, as you did say, the heat playing a factor today. Upwards of 80 degrees here on a cloudless Lansing afternoon. But on the pitch, it feels like upwards of 90, 95 degrees as we'll get a substitution for BiH.
It will be Avery Dresky to come make his entrance into the stadium, while Mitch Haynes doesn't look like he's going to get up anytime soon. We'll be taken out momentarily.
So Austin Snyder, the player coming off the pitch for BiH. And Avery Dresky will make an appearance in this game as Mitch Haynes, his day is done. 63 minutes played for him.
Avery Dresky teammates with Gershom Sylvan at the club level. At the youth club level, more specifically.
The ensuing free kick dealt with by Shirali. A poor service there from Shabanovic. And here comes Lansing the other way. Numbers going forward.
It's a 2v1, Cam.
Shaheen with Postlethwaite along in defense. Shaheen, he tries to go for it himself. Still with Shaheen. And that one stepped into by the new substitution. And Dresky forced to play the ball out of pressure as Velasquez came in late.
And you know what, Cam? I think that was just a poor decision from Ramsey Shaheen not to give it to Gershom Sylvan, or at least finish that himself.
But a great defensive play, though, by Samuel Postlethwaite.
A great defensive play, but on a 2v1 counterattack like that, you're only 2-1 up. Those kind of opportunities have to be put in.
So Lansing Common, arguably their best chance of the second half, gone begging off of a 2-on-1 and a seemingly nothing play. With just about 25 minutes left to go here in a very crucial game that Lansing Common needs if they want to keep their East Division title hopes alive. Ball played in. That's a lovely shot. That one took a deflection and just grazed past the far post as Ethan Brandt saw that one late.
That could have been real dangerous there. A good left-footed hit. might have taken a deflection, got a couple bounces on the ground to change direction, and it was inching that back post of Ethan Brandt.
Ball played forward. Shirali on the end of it. Numbers backtracking for BiH. That's a lovely pass, trying to find Voigt.
Taken down, it's going to be a corner kick. And at the end of that, it was Jack Voigt. A great run from both Shirali and Voigt. Shirali excellent on the right side. Low-driven cross, tries to find Jack Voigt at the end of it. He was taken down.
And a great play there by Zahidic in support, able to win the ball before taking down the man. And Shirali with another corner. And an opportunity for Lansing Common. The outswinger. That one won't be the first man. It'll be pawed out, though, by the goalkeeper, but not out. Trying to spring a man forward. First on the scene, though,
Jack Voigt.
was Jack Voigt, well in defense. As we'll get another substitution for BiH. And it looks as though the initial substitution was going to be made for Suvanic. But one of BiH's halftime substitutions has gone down, gimping to the bench. It looks like he will be the man that will be replaced instead of Suvanic. As BiH has worked their way through a majority of their substitutions here with 25 minutes left to go. Shabanovic to Prajapati. And his chance goes begging as he looks towards the center referee, looking for something, as he felt he was fouled up in the process.
You know, and Josh Rosendale has put on the Lansing Common FC jersey, ready to check into the game. Cam, who do you think he comes on for?
That's a loaded question, Luke. I don't really have much answers for that. I would assume it would be Ramsey Shaheen along the left side. A size matchup that Shaheen is losing, as we'll get the second half hydration break. And so Luca, in what was a very fairly optimistic first 20 minutes of this match, it seems as though Lansing Common, who was running on all cylinders, on all 6 cylinders, seems to be running on one at the moment. It could be a factor of the heat, could be the 2 games in 3 days, but it just seems as though, as we were talking to a former assistant coach, John Greer, at halftime, that it just seems as though the midfield of Lansing Common, that and just a mixture of a few other things, is keeping their offensive progress stalling.
Yeah, Cam, you could say that, but in the last 5 minutes, we saw a 2v1, nearly 3v1 counterattack break with Ramsey Shaheen and Gershom Sylvan that didn't turn into a goal. And those are the bigger issues right there. Because, yes, the tired legs are playing into effect, but now you've got a substitution with Avery Dresky giving more energy and height into that midfield. But the options have been there for Lansing Common, make no mistake. And good defending by BiH has also kept them within a goal's distance of equalizing this match. So if Lansing Common can't be precautious and if they can't be careful with the way they're playing in the last 20 minutes of this match, you could see you could see BiH casually pull one back.
And talking about being cautious, Lansing a like-for-like substitution on the offensive end. It'll be forward Josh Rosendale who makes his way onto the pitch. Ramsey Shaheen's night is over. 1 goal for him as he got things started just inside the opening 10 minutes.
And I think this is a smart substitution right here. You're injecting Joshua Rosendale, now playing at the center forward role. Sylvan out left, Jack Voigt out right. And what this is going to happen is allow Rosendale to win more balls in the air, hopefully, for them.
Here comes a chance for Rosendale. First touch, and that shot drags it wide.
And Rosendale could have had an immediate impact to the score line, but his shot just goes way wide.
And for Rosendale, that's been a thing of his since putting on a Lansing Common uniform. He's been very good when he's played, just not necessarily having the best of execution. As Rosendale, the Olivet College graduate, played 74 matches for the Comets, 26 goals in his 4 years there, 4 assists as well, and a few goals in a Lansing Common uniform. As Sylvan, with an effort from distance, goes between the uprights, and it will result in a goal kick for BiH.
Well done by Sylvan to stay on his feet and find a shot. His shot just well wide.
The Lansing Common supporters group still singing their praises, trying to will their team into grabbing another goal, as we're getting to that point in the season where goal differential is also a play. Lansing Common entering today second in the East Division, with it one more game played than league leaders Inter Detroit, who have only dropped points once this season. Shirali able to win his team a free kick just before the halfway line.
You know, this will be 2 wins from 2 if the result holds for Coach Brent Sorg. I think it's fair to say it'll be a great start for him in his Lansing Common head coaching career.
As Gershom Sylvain wins himself a free kick, and it's another yellow card issued to BiH. It's one of the substitutes. Therefore, I do not have a name once again. No full roster sheet available to the broadcasters nor the PA announcer today. It'll be the 3rd card issued to BiH, and a free kick in a dangerous area for Munir Shirali. Shirali, his in-swinger, trying to find Payne. It'll find its way out to Hungerford. Lansing still trying to push the envelope forward. Out wide.
Wishmeyer, good idea with the low-driven cross. But it was
Dresky.
cut out.
Dresky able to keep possession for the Robins. Arnold over to Sylvan. Sylvan trying to dink it far post. That ball will stay in for a throw-in along the far side. Or at least that's what the Lansing Common players thought it was. It would be a goal kick.
Yeah, it looks like BiH was arguing the ball went out first before it rolled back into play and out for what it looked like a throw-in by the corner flag. And now the whole bench for Lansing Common has gotten up and got warm-ups underway on the touchline.
Could see wholesale substitutions upcoming for Coach Brent Sorg's side. As Kevin Payne closed down immediately, he'll win himself a throw-in.
Wouldn't be a bad idea as we're reaching the last 15 minutes of the match.
And especially entering the hottest part of the day. Currently 82 degrees here in Lansing. Feels like temperature right around the same mark. And a slight breeze coming out of the south at around 7 miles an hour. And for those casually listening to this on their phones right by the pool, the UV index is now at 2, so you may just want to go back inside.
Weatherman broadcaster Cameron McLaren here for you.
As Rosendale will win himself a throw-in. An immediate impact for the Olivet graduate. Still searching to be a relatively, how do I phrase this, Luca, a continual or a habitual goal scorer for this team.
Joshua Rosendale, yes, you know, he's one of those strikers that it takes 1 to 2 goals for him to get a roll on. But either way, you know, he works hard every game. He's making things happen for his teammates, and if he can't be the one to score the goal, you can count on him being the one to set it up.
And a foul committed by Zane Arnold. There was no way he was going to reach the head and get over Amar Jez. So he commits the foul deep inside the final third for Lansing Common as we approach the final quarter of an hour here in Lansing. It'll be BiH, still a goal down, trying to make something happen. Shabanovic tries to cut back. It's picked out, though, by Hungerford. Be sent back in by Zahidic. As him and Avery Dresky, the battle of the heads, it finds its way out to Sylvan. A casual game of head tennis ensuing in the midfield as Prajapati comes down with it.
The ball spending most of its time in the air as Ethan Brandt rushes out of his goal to catch that.
And a few words between the center referee and I believe Jack Lockerbie about the previous slight exchange as Ethan Brandt was barreled into slightly. As Gershom Sylvan able to win a ball away from postal weight. Sylvan still with it, has numbers in support. Sylvan still going. Sylvan, 3-1! What a sensational strike and a great individual run by Gershom Sylvan, who makes it 4 goals in a Lansing Common uniform.
And you might not see a better one than that today. My word, Gershom Sylvan from the right flank dribbles in, dribbled past 1, past 2, and with his left foot puts it to the right side of the keeper and makes it 3-1. Cam, what a spectacle of a goal that was.
What a simply sensational run from a simply sensational player. It's Lansing Common 3, BiH Grand Rapids 1. And what a goal for Lansing Common. That is exactly what they needed, Luca, and just at the right time, too.
Absolutely. As Gershom Sylvan was making that first run, you could see the BiH midfielder slow down there as he was grabbing his hamstring. Didn't look completely pleased with that effort.
And here comes BiH searching to draw back to within 1. Prajapati, his pass takes a deflection and a roll in softly on Ethan Brandt. As that recent goal from Gershom Sylvan has brought this Lansing crowd back into it after it seemed to lull for a little bit in the past 25 minutes.
And look at that trickery from Ty Uziak on the bench, even though he's not suited today. Does 2 around the worlds to impress the crowd here.
Just a casual juggle from the West Michigan product. Or excuse me, the Western Michigan product.
I'm sure he's itching to be back on the pitch, but he'll have to do so when he is medically cleared.
And Gershom Sylvan, once again, the half turn away from the pressure of postal weight. He'll win his team another corner. Just over 11 minutes remaining. Lansing Common firmly once again in control of this match. But if it's anything like the previous 3 encounters between these two teams, the fireworks may not be done yet. Haynes and Shirali on the 1-2. Shirali, that one took a deflection and rolls all the way past the BiH net. It'll be another corner on the opposite side for Lansing Common.
Lansing Common still figuring out who's taking the corner kick on the far side.
Looks as though both Wishmeyer and Shirali are going to take this one. Possibly another 1-2 as Damir Shabanovic comes over to make sure that he can put pressure on it. They'll play it short. Shirali, still with it. Shirali! And that one trying to find the near post. It'll be stopped and cradled into the arms of the BiH keeper.
Like you said, Mudir Shirali, good hit with his right foot to the near post. Even better save.
BiH with 10 minutes searching for 2 goals. Velasquez. Shabanovic on the overlap. An out-swinging cross. That one took a deflection, and Brandt quick off of his line to snare that one out of midair. As he gives a high five to his defense. Once again, the Route 1 connection between Sylvan and Brandt. Lansing Common, plenty of time and plenty of control in this one to play it as they see fit. Hungerford. Back to Lockerbie. Wishmeyer.
Again, I'm a very big fan of the flexibility between Shirali, Wishmeyer. Oh, and here we go.
And there's
on
a
the other
bad
side.
turnover, and there's a defensive play. Hungerford able to block that shot. It's a bad play between, I believe, Shirali
and Wishmeyer.
Wishmeyer along the back end, and Luca Wishmeyer dropping in to that center back role, allowing Zane Arnold to run higher up the pitch along this right side, which is something we can talk about after this corner. The low driver sent in, dealt with immediately by Arnold. So it finds its way out of touch, but no, Zane Arnold, who likes to get forward, and that's something that Lansing Common liked to do last year in their traditional, or their obscure ways of creating a 4-4-2. As Lansing Common, opportunity going forward, Rosendale has Sylvan in support. A lovely weighted ball. Sylvan, and that shot saved. And the rebound cleared away.
And like we talked about earlier, Rosendale just has a very good ability about hitting the right pass at just the right time. Got that absolutely on the money for Gershom Sylvan. But that was a great save by the BiH keeper to keep that out of the net.
It truly was, Luca, and a great 2-on-4 play by Rosendale, able to pick that pass through a few BiH defenders, as Sammy Postleway is having himself a lot of trouble dealing with Sylvan on that left side.
And that switch from Mark Wishmeyer didn't work out as he planned.
Hungerford in retreat. Able to win the ball momentarily, or yes indeed, was waiting for a sign from the far linesman.
It looked as if he was about to raise his flag, but now we have 3 Lansing Common players on the sideline ready to check in. Ben Meshke, Travis Hammers, and Daniel Silva are looking to make an appearance tonight. I think 3 very good players to be able to close this game out.
Zahedic had trouble dealing with Jack Voigt. He's able to escape the pressure. It'll find its way to Velasquez. Velasquez gets bodied by both Arnold and Payne. He'll win himself, or excuse me, he'll win his team a free kick just outside of the Lansing penalty area.
Yeah, a little bit of use of the hands from Kevin Payne there to knock down Velasquez. Justified call by the center referee. But that's again, that's going to be 2 free kicks now in very dangerous positions, and they converted the first one.
And it looks as though the man who scored the first goal, Damir Shabanovic, he'll line up to take this one along with Suvanic. But Luca, it seems as though, it looks as though in terms of the body language and the posture of Damir Shabanovic, it looks like he will be going for goal again. And I would not be surprised.
No doubt. From this distance, you go for goal. And this could be a little troubling here because he could go under the wall. He could go to the right of it, to the left. It looks like, I'd say right now he's going to try to scope out that top left corner like he did last time.
Shabanovic! And that one blasted well wide of the far post. And we'll get a triple substitution for Lansing Common. It'll be Ben Meshke, Travis Hammers, and Daniel Silva coming in momentarily, as the center official has not yet waved to bring them those players on, and indeed does so now. Gershom Sylvan, the recent goal scorer, 85 minutes for him, as he gets an ovation from the home crowd. As Ben Meshke makes his way onto the pitch as well. Munir Shirali will exit the game for Lansing Common.
And take a look here as a BiH player has gone down to the ground, signaling an injury. But well done to the three that just came off today in Lockerbie,
Shirali, and Sylvan.
Three very good players, had a great outing today. Shirali and Sylvan each leaving with a goal to their name.
And as we wait to see what happens in these final 5 minutes, it's been an interesting game, Luca. Early game fireworks for Lansing Common. 2 goals in 20 minutes. One from Ramsey Shaheen, he got things started, and then Munir Shirali from point blank made it 2-0 in a blink of an eye for the home side. But a late first half goal from Damir Shabanovic, a beautiful curler into the top corner. Ethan Brandt had no business saving it, as he did not. That made it 2-1 going into the break, and just a few moments ago, Gershom Sylvan reclaiming Lansing's 2-goal lead. And that's where we see ourselves with just under 5 left to go and a few minutes of added time from a very big 3 points if things stay the way they are for Lansing Common. Postal wait. He'll bring it back to his goalkeeper. Rosendale asking for a pass back.
Yeah, Brent Sorg. First one on his feet, asking what's going on there. And center official and linesman talking right now. It looks like it is a pass back. It's going to be an indirect. If it holds up, should be an indirect free kick from that position.
And touched by the goalkeeper just outside of his penalty area, so it is not inside the 18-yard box. Postal Wait pleading his case with the center referee. It's a drop ball situation. Meshke trying to work around Jazz.
Wishmeyer
tries to dink it in. A spillage, and there's a tap in. Daniel Silva, what a way to bag your first goal of the game on your first touch. As bad news at the back spells big trouble for BiH Grand Rapids. As Daniel Silva nets one as a rub-in. It's now Lansing Common 4, BiH Grand Rapids 1.
Tired legs and a tired mind. In comes Daniel Silva to keep disrupting that BiH defense. And he bags his first career goal for Lansing.
I was just about to say that, Luca, trying to look in the stat book to make sure of it, but what a way to score your first goal for Lansing Common. An easy tap in. Half of bad trouble at the back line for BiH. And another substitution for head coach Brent Sorg. Danton McFate making his way onto the pitch in exchange for Zane Arnold, who played himself a great 88 minutes of soccer here today in Lansing. Two goals in 12 minutes for Lansing Common, as BiH trying to get one back here in the dying embers of this game. Andreski, a beautiful job on defense to win the ball back, but once again, BiH can threaten. A ball sent in off the back of Hungerford, and Ethan Brandt can collect. And Danton McFate has been getting some playing time here as of late, slotting in that right back position for Arnold here in the waning moments of this one.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of him in the first half of the season, but he's been making an appearance now in the last 3 to 4.
In both.
No, a player that former coach Josh Oakley was very excited about having on this team.
There's a cross. Meshki blazes that one across goal, but Silva keeps it in. Daniel Silva. His cross goes off, takes a deflection off the back of a defender. It'll be a Lansing Common corner, as we'll get another substitution for the home side here.
Jack Voigt, the one to come off.
So it'll be Jack Voigt who makes way for Tony Burton, who makes his first appearance since the game against Tulip City United a week, or just over 2 weeks ago, in a game that finished 1-0 to the visiting team from Holland. Silva to take the corner. 6 in the box for Lansing. Headed in the back post. Hammers tried to get on the end of it. And that will be the final whistle. No stoppage time here in Lansing as the center referee has had enough. 2 goals in both halves for Lansing Common as they gain a valuable 3 points and a valuable +3 differential in the goal differential race as they keep their title hopes alive. And Luca, it was a good beginning and a very good end, but a very bleak middle, as it seemed as though that BiH Grand Rapids on a slightly cooler day could have bagged a few to level things up just before and just after halftime.
You're absolutely right. You saw BiH Grand Rapids midway through that first half. Even though they were down a goal, they looked like the team that were up. But a little bit of misfortune for them as Munir Shirali was able to get that crucial second goal. And just before halftime, BiH strike a great free kick. But coming out of the break, I still think BiH kept a lot of their sluggishness, they weren't connecting in as many passes, and they weren't getting into the attacking third as effectively as they would have liked. But they made things work the best way they can. Lansing Common had those players off the bench, creating more energy, creating more runs, ultimately giving them 2 more goals to finish the game.
It's a 3-goal difference that separated the two sides as Lansing Common, they'll ride away into the Sunday sunset here in Lansing, 4-1 victors as they keep their title hopes alive. The Robins will be back in action this Friday as they play Milwaukee Torrent in the NISA Independent Cup, a cup that both Lansing Common and Milwaukee are already knocked out of, as Metro Louisville, a team that, Luca, you know well, has advanced to play Michigan Stars here in the coming weeks. And the Robins back in Midwest Premier League action next Sunday as they travel to Romeo, Michigan to take on Michigan Stars' U23 side. And then a week later, they make their final home appearance in a game that has trophy implications possibly as they take on league leaders Inter Detroit. And that will do it for us, for our production crew, Lance Limbo and Scott Oberlander. From my partner in crime, Luca Maloney, I'm Cameron McLaren. It's been a pleasure talking with y'all tonight. We'll see you in a few weeks. Good night.